Oh, excuse me. Just had lunch. That's how I started to stream burping everyone's ear rolls. Hello, everyone. Oh, and good morning to you, Ash. Except it's evening for me. I've been meaning to ask, where are you actually from, by the way? Because it's evening for me right now. I went completely dead. I usually have lunch just before I go live. And sometimes it decides it wants to. But yeah, my brain went completely dead on me. America. Figure. I thought I was going to burp again for a second. So it must be like really early in the morning for you then. So yeah, obviously today's just going to be challenging because when I thought about it, there wasn't really anything that I was in the mood for. I looked at different games, I was like, I'm just not feeling it because the only game I'm feeling. 4 a.m. Damn, that's early. It's really early. 4 in the morning. It's an early time in the morning. What's I saying? Because the only game that I'm feeling for right now is Resident Evil 4 Remake, but the problem with that is that it's hard to say how far we are at the end. Because sometimes what I do when I'm uncertain to how far at the end of a game, I will look up a walkthrough on YouTube where it has the entire game in the video, and I'll skip to the point where I was last at, which I did for Tuesday. On Tuesday for Wednesday's stream, wind up just before the boss fight, and how much left was the video is the way of knowing how much left of the game was, and and it looked about 3 hours. Now, of course, with walkthroughs, people know what they're doing and are very good at the game. But usually, the average difference between me finishing is usually an hour or so. Because then we got 3 hours on yesterday's stream, and we're definitely nowhere close to the end. It's really hard to say because I could say another 3 hours, but it could be another 10 hours. And that's why it's on Friday. Well, usually when I'm not certain how far I'm to the end of the game, I usually put on the Saturday because that's the only time I can stream the longest. But since I don't have work tomorrow, we're doing it tomorrow instead. Because I've had it before where I think, oh, 3 hours to the end. I'll get 3 hours in, have to stop because I have to get ready for work, and then stream it the next day, and there was only like an hour left. So that's why it's on Friday. I mean, probably by Saturday, I probably might be in the mood for something else as far as games go. Because I did think, because if we do end up finishing Resident Evil 4 tomorrow, I was thinking of, because I don't know if it would be enjoyable, because I think it could be fun to go to the shooting range and try and S-rank all the shooting range mini games on Saturday stream if we don't end up finishing Resident Evil 4. If we end up finishing Resident Evil 4 tomorrow, because that's what we could do for Saturday stream at least. Yeah. Because there is some stuff that's coming out next week. I definitely do want to stream because Genshin Impact's having its new update, which means there's gonna be a lot of story event stuff. We'll probably do that, and who knows, I might be finally in the mood to come back to Witcher 3 because I started out at the beginning of this year, and I stopped because of Hogwarts Legacy coming out. And even though those games are, aren't gameplay-wise the same, they're thematically the same, being open world fantasy with magic and stuff. So I didn't want to play two games with similar styles at the same time. And and so I took a break from that. But still, although it's been like at least 2 weeks since I finished Hogwarts Legacy on stream, it's still not there because I don't like the idea of just force myself to play something for the sake of playing it. I want to be in the right mood to play something. Oh, try and burp away from the mic. Oh, lunch is still coming up on me. Because the last time I did actually just talk and stream wasn't meant to even be that. Because it was September last year. I was trying to play Minecraft, which I'm not in the mood for that either today. And the launcher just wouldn't launch no matter what I try on the computer. It's one of the few games I prefer to play on the computer, and I was just like, well, I thought, well, I'll just chat for a little bit instead. I did look at it, it's just like, see, my job is actually cleaning. That's what my part-time job is. And the idea of playing a game that's also about cleaning is like, do I wanna? But that's one of the ones I've put on my wish list. Because it's also on the PS4, PS5 and PS4, so I can play it on my console as well. But it's definitely one I might consider. I might even consider that for Saturday. We'll see where my mood is by Saturday as well. Because it can change. I can be like, you know what, I am in the mood for playing games, but not today, unfortunately. Racing games are never really been my cup of tea either. Having said in that, if I remember correctly, let me check this. I believe Lego's actually releasing a Lego game. I think it's in May, like a Lego racing game, which reminds me of like the old Lego racing games that was on PC. Because I can't remember what it's called. It was in May. Let's see. Yeah, it's called Lego 2K Driver. A daft name, but I think it's more like open world sort of racing game, and because it's Lego, you can build your own cars, which is like that. It just sounds kind of neat, but that's not out until like that's not out until unfortunately May. Let's see, it's May 19th. Yeah, May 19th. Which when I saw a trailer, it gave me like the vibes of like the old. Yes, I do have a PS5. It's sitting horizontally on. Actually, speaking of which, I think I have a. Let's see. I have a funny photo of one of the cats actually sitting on said PS5. How can I? I'm trying to remember how to get images up on here, because she likes sitting on random stuff for some reason. Oh, that's a little big. Was it? No, that's her sitting on the PS4. That's the wrong one. It says sitting on the PS4. It's on the desktop and they're numbered instead of there it is. Should rename. There we go. There she is. There she is sitting on the thing. There she does. The Gran Turismo games usually are, but that's her sitting on the PS5. She's actually 13 this year, actually. When everyone sees her, they always think she's like a little kitten. But, she's 13. She's actually in the room right now. She's asleep on my bed. But she likes sitting on weird places like my consoles. I think it's because they're warm. But the thing also with games that I'm lucky enough is I got like a ton of like games on PlayStation Plus as well. But like I said, nothing's really grabbing my attention at the moment. And then there's also the Epic Games Store. It tends to always have free games a lot every week. It's wild to think about Hello 13. Yeah, like I said, I'm waiting for them to like put it on the Switch, because as I said before, Nintendo ain't too fond of people playing things legally, and I'm not taking the risk in getting another copyright strike. Yeah, actually, I think I watched Snuffy play that as well, but that might require downloading that. And I'm not sure how my computer will handle me downloading and streaming at the same time. But once again, that could be something to consider on Saturday at least. Because Nintendo, it's dumb. They're like, you're playing our games legally, well, you're in trouble then. But then, let's put them illegally so we can play them, so we don't play illegally. Now, yes, it was kind of on my fault. I was so excited to play Dead Space Remake on stream, and it came a day early. I figured, well, I'm a small streamer, I shouldn't get into any trouble. So I streamed it, because it was only a day early, and I think after I'd finished streaming, EA immediately put a copyright strike on the channel. Which was my fault for assuming that it'd be okay to stream it early. It was only a day early. Because I rarely get games early, because I tend to buy them physically, because I can get them a lot cheaper than playing them digitally. Which is a lesson to learn, to just learn to be a bit more patient and wait. Yeah, that's why I want to be extra careful when it comes to playing anything Nintendo related, because they're equally worse when it comes to that sort of stuff. Even when you like do stuff like those emulation games, sometimes you can be safe and they'll be fine about it, but sometimes they're not so much. I bet there was this case where someone was, I think, remaking one of the old Metroid games, and Nintendo put a cease and desist to it. While other companies, like there's someone who like basically remastered Sonic 06, which was considered a very bad Sonic game, and Sega has no problem with that. But Nintendo, no, they're like, no, you can't do that, not allowed. So it's best to be patient and wait until. I hope it's not too long they put the on the Switch, but unfortunately, when it comes to Pokemon, it is not. Yeah, I'm saying too. I've always stuck by the mind of if you play a game legitimately, play it legitimately. Because like last year, I played all the Harry Potter games, and I played those on the consoles they released on, and did not emulate them. But because the Pokemon company decides everything, so it's up to them when they want to put them on, and not necessarily Nintendo. And the Pokemon company can be really awkward. Because I think last year they put the N64 emulator on the Switch. Yes, I do have a Switch. It's sitting next to the PS5. You couldn't see in that photo because Bells is a very fluffy cat. But it's behind her here. But she's so big and fluffy. Yeah, they are great. I just wish Nintendo would put them out more regularly. But N64 last year, and they've just put Pokemon Colosseum this year on the Switch. It makes me think if that's going to take that long for that, it might end up being next year for Pokemon. I enjoyed the original Pokemon Snap, but it wasn't like one of those games that I loved like most people did. That's one of those ones I'm kind of on the new one. Yeah. Then again, Sony's just equally as bad as Nintendo, at least with PS3 games, because they released that extended version of their PlayStation Plus, and it has PS3 games, but they're like, nah, it's streaming only. I haven't played Smash Ultimate since it came out. One thing I've realized a lot of fighting games is well, debatable if Smash is considered a fighting game, is that I had more fun when playing with my siblings, and they don't really play games that much, so it's kind of boring playing them by yourself most of the time. And when you play online, you're just going to get your ass kicked. Had said that there might be one fighting game I might end up playing, because apparently they're making a new Budokai Tenkai Kichi, is how you pronounce it, a game, and I've been playing those when those originally came out, and it's like, yes. But that hasn't even been announced when that's going to be out, though. That's always a case of no. Genshin is very cool. I really enjoy Genshin Impact. It generally has that fun like loop of gameplay, and I really do enjoy the story because I love anime. It's a very anime-ass story. Yes, I generally do enjoy it. The only problem with unfortunately, most FPS first-person shooters these days, all of them have to suddenly be battle royale, so it's very rare that there's any actual good ones that do come out. Because another series I want Sony to like maybe go back to is the Resistance series, because those are some really good first-person shooter, the Resistance series. I want to play those on stream. But every time I try and play an old game on stream, or play in general, it always bites me in the ass because they end up re-releasing it eventually. It's happened to me, I think, like 4 times. Because back in 2016, no, I can't say I have tried that. I could be wrong, but I think I actually have that. Hunter Shadow. I think I have that PlayStation Plus. I swear I was on PlayStation Plus at one point. It's problem with grabbing so many PlayStation Plus things. PlayStation Plus games. You forget all the fucking ones you have. Okay. Let's have a look on my library. It could actually be, because I swear I did. And there's no imagining it. No, yeah, I was imagining it. Yeah, no, I didn't. Part of PlayStation. There's so many ones where I swear that was part of PlayStation Plus, and then I look and it's like, no, it wasn't. Something to consider. But what was I saying? With playing games. So basically, like back in 2016, I got into the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and at the time, the HD remakes of those were only on the PS3, and I was like, well, we're 2016 in, 3 years into the PS4, and like, it's not going to go on there. I played the first one. After finishing it, like, hey, it's come to PS4 now. I'm like, great. Same with the Witcher series. I played the first 2 Witcher games on stream. And then last year, they announced, hey, we're remaking the first one. And I'm like, god damn it. So I want to play Resistance on stream, more of it, because I played the first one, but there's a part of me that keeps hoping they might end up re-releasing them or remaking them. So I'm holding out hope they do. Do a remake of the Resistance series, or even Killzone for that matter. I mean, this is kind of like the second time because the last Just Chat stream wasn't really planned. It was just because I couldn't get bloody Minecraft to work. But I do have a couple of things just to chat for a bit. We'll see how the conversations flows, because the Just Chat streams I have watched just tend to ebb and flow into different things. Because my brain went. But then again, I'm so tired. I don't know what's been with my besides sorting out stuff for, like I said, for the new mod, there is some things I was looking into while waiting for the new model to happen, because I've always liked the idea of doing tracking. Yes, quite sleepy. Not as bad as yesterday, but still a little sleepy. I still tend to stream because sometimes out of nowhere I'll wake up. Suddenly, I don't know, the caffeine just hits already, and like, ooh, I'm awake now. I'm looking into like tracking, like hand tracking, because since VTubing's blowout during 2020, more like free softwares have actually started cropping up over the years. Because the most common one when you want to do just hand tracking is Leap Motion, which is a device you buy, which I can get, but if there's a free option that does just as good, might as well go for it. But I want to wait until I get the model to like kind of fit around with that a bit more. Let's say this model can't do the tracking. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, to do full body tracking, they're using the vibe sensors, which can be quite pricey. But recently, I think Sony released their own, like, what was it? Their own, like, we're supposed to like simulate actual like mocap thing. Life of me, I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, it's just yeah. Here it. Let's see. Okay. It's like these little sensors. Like these little sensor things that you can stick all over your body. See if I can find a good fucking picture. Goddamn. Let's go to images and get this up on the. I have to switch. Let's see. I know I have a channel for the monitor somewhere on here. No, that's that monitor. There we go. Ooh, multiple me's. Yeah, it's like these kind of things. Like these little dot things, and they're supposed to like go all parts of your body. Your hands, your feet, your waist, and they're supposed to like simulate full body tracking, but they are also quite pricey as well. But compared to actual like proper mocap suits, it's still somewhat affordable. But it's one of the things I want to wait and see, like the reviews on it. Like more people, yeah, like the more people like use it. My brain went completely dead. Until figuring out again. But that's like something to look into later down the road, not let's say immediately. Oh yes, VR chat. I don't actually have a VR headset yet. My problem with getting VR headsets is not so the price, it's the worrying about the motion sickness. I don't really have issues with motion sickness, usually, but VR is one of those ones where I feel like I could end up having issues with that. Thank God for VR chat, because that's a good way of, you know, like getting a headset and practicing with it before buying any VR games. Because I know you can use VR chat without VR headsets, which is also good. Yeah, but the face tracking. Okay, something to consider. Like these are like very much later down the line sort of things, not a essential rush and do sort of thing. It's one of those things when I think about VR chat. I wonder why Sony never did a similar thing for the PlayStation VR, especially with PlayStation VR 2. Have something like PlayStation Home but for VR, because that's like the perfect idea to get people into their headsets, is have something similar to VR chat on their system, but also have it usable on the console itself, so that people get used to using that and go, oh, I want to buy a headset. Because I wonder if that's the reason why like things like the Oculus Quest are so popular, because people will try the desktop version of VR chat and go, oh, this is fun, but it would be better with VR, and then they get the VR headset to have it in VR. I mean, VR chat's free, so it doesn't cost you anything to download and see what it's like. But still thinking about the facial. I'm excited. The most thing I am excited about the new model is the iPhone tracking, which is using the iPhone to track the facial expressions. Because I've seen other VTubers using the amount of detail it can catch the people's facial expressions is just insane. Like everything from just them like puffing their cheeks, frowning their brows, smiling or angry, looking proper angry. Because with this, as you can see, it's very limited, which is not too bad if you have money. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It also helps that the VR chat has been around a long time, but if they put it out when the first PlayStation VR headset came out, that could still work for the second one as well, because that was 2016, if I'm not mistaken, the first PlayStation VR headset. This is one of the reasons why I'll be when the model does get here, I'll be taking like a week to go with, because there's different apps on the iPhone to use, and it's seeing one works best with the model, and getting the angle right, because I'm gonna get a stand for the iPhone, and I've got to make sure it's at the right, perfect position to capture the facial expressions. Oh, I don't know why I'm so burpy today. And make sure that the overlays and stuff work as well, because the overlays I found on Etsy are like animated as well, which for the price that those are, they're animated, and I've never used animated overlays and backgrounds, because the one I use right now is just a free one I found when I started off. Because when I started off, I was actually unfortunately unemployed, so I couldn't afford much, but now I'm not, and like I said, yes, I can put money into this now. Yeah, that could be good. I mean, I do have Scarlet and Violet. That could be a good one something to do. That's one of the ones that's perfect to do when there's a decent audience to do it with, sort of thing. Like, as long as I can guarantee to like have like at least 10 people or so. I mean, with the Scarlet Violet Wi-Fi battles, they're probably just like 4 people if you're on about the raid things. I really did enjoy it. Despite most people's opinions on Scarlet Violet, I actually really enjoyed it because I didn't really run into any of those glitches or issues that people had. So it was a fun experience for me, Scarlet and Violet. But the only problem that there's been a problem for a while for the Pokemon games, they're always lacking the post game stuff. Because like for Scarlet and Violet, the only post game stuff was to, besides catching the Pokemon, of course, was to reface all the gym leaders again. I was like, that's it, really? No like Battle Frontier sort of thing, which that hasn't been a thing for a while. That's always the problem when games get a lot of glitches and issues. Even if it's only a small amount of people, it can be enough to spread across the internet to make people think that it's an inherent issue. And I have a launch Switch, by the way. I've had my Switch since it came out, so that Switch there's 6 years old. Bloody hell. 6 years. People still think there's going to be a Switch Pro sometime soon. Oh, did it? Not much. I was just talking about Scarlet and Violet, how much I enjoyed it, and the fact that my Switch is 6 years old because I got it when it came out. Yeah. And the Wi-Fi battle thing is a neat idea, but it'd probably be best to wait to have like not like a huge orange, but at least enough people to actually do stuff like that. But I do enjoy those kind of streams too when the streamer does something with the chat, because there was something yeah. I was watching Snuffy, and she was doing something on stream a while ago, which was like stream courtroom, where you have people in chat come through, and they have a crime they've not really committed, but a crime, and then it's up, and then the streamer plays as the judge, and then the rest of the chat plays as the jury, and watching that kind of unfold was actually kind of fun to watch. There's a lot of like games like that have come over the last couple of years to like. I mean, then there's games that have Twitch integration, like if I'm not saying Skyrim has that, where the chat can vote in for random stuff just to spawn in the game, and I think I watched Snuffy also do that as well, and that was hilarious to watch. And yeah, of course, there's lots of stuff in VR chat as well. VR chat is basically the new PlayStation Home, but better. Because PlayStation Home was that kind of virtual world stuff. I had different like places to play games and stuff, which unfortunately Sony shut down back in 2015. And VR chat feels like that, but more spread and not limited to Sony related stuff. Because the amount of maps people make in that thing is insane. Like proper like recreations of like either stuff from TV shows or from other video games. It's insane. Yeah, it's one of the things I still wonder why they got rid of PlayStation Home. They never said why, but I think most obvious one was probably like profit. Like they always keep servers up for online stuff is very costly, and eventually they have to think, is it worth keeping it up? I honestly think it probably would have been like especially back when the pandemic hit. If they had that on PS4, that thing would have been massively popular. But the weird Sony is unfortunately dead and gone. They will probably never do weird stuff like that ever again. Unfortunately. I mean, I still have my PS3. It's in somewhere in this room. I believe it is 13 years old because it's a PS3 Slim. I had the original PS3, but that unfortunately broke on me, so I had to get a PS3 Slim, which is still working to this day, which is pretty good. I usually use that for any like PS3 games that aren't either on PC or on current consoles, because some PS3 games are PS3 and 360 games are on Steam, thankfully, but most of those, but not everything is, like especially like certain third-party games as well. I think I still even have my Wii. That's even older because I think I got that for my 16th birthday. Maths now. That's 16 years now, I think. Yeah, that'd be 16 years this year because I turned 32 this year. So yeah, the Wii will be 16 years old now. Oh, my phone vibrated. Oh, I'm glitching out a bit. One thing I do miss from like the old Pokemon games is the music. The music hasn't necessarily been terrible. In the Pokemon games, but they've never been as memorable as this. Like, I realized kind of a hilarious thing that the only good music that was really good music that was in Scarlet and Violet was the music that Toby Fox did. Like I think I like even saved it because like I have a playlist on YouTube of all different like video game music related stuff, mostly for like streaming and stuff, like whatever my mood falls into that day. And I believe I do have some of those musics. Like all the best music in those games was from Undertale and Deltarune. Yeah. Oh, there's another example of great music. Yeah, no. Look at the list on the ones I got on here are all the ones that Toby Fox did. It's not the first time he did music for the Pokemon games, because I think he did the same. He did like one song for like Sword and Shield, but then did like a good handful for like Scarlet and Violet. Because it got like, let's see, what this one was just the music you play with the final battle. I mean, this sounds very Undertale. Because when it first popped up, because when you listen to it on its own without the Pokemon stuff, you'd think this was from like Undertale or Deltarune. But it's not, it's Pokemon. Oh, hello there to you too. Just vibing to the music at the moment. Oh god. Just shook my head around too much. There's some of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet music. Because then there's this one, which is like the most like epic sounding music for like just an area. And then you have this one. It just goes real hard. This is from Scarlet and Violet. It's I don't want to say who, because this song is actually spoilers. It's one of the. Let's put it this way: it's the final boss fight you have, or battle fight you have with the leader of Team Star, and I'll leave it at that because whoever the leader of Team Star is spoilers to say the least. This is the music that plays in the battle, which is another Toby Fox one as well. stop head shaking for now. But still thinking about Pokemon, I still feel like, rather than not being any Pokemon, well, there's the DLC for Scarlet and Violet that's out this year. I still feel cool to release, you know, still be cool to release the GBA Pokemon games to Switch. But I mean, we're only still like my brain went there. We're still only like 4 months into this year, so it's not to say it still won't. Might release it for like a summer thing. That'd be pretty neat. Hell, they could announce, well, E3 isn't happening. It got cancelled. And people have pretty much put it like on its doors now. I've basically said it's out to pass because they've been struggling for like the last couple of years at E3, and the pandemic just pretty much made it worse for them, because instead there's now the Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, and I think Nintendo's part of that. No, it could be a good way of announcing Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald to the Switch around the summertime. Which is always weird with E3, because it always hits around my birthday, which is always weird with E3. But I guess no E3 means it won't be around my birthday. Is it a bit low? It's probably the music's just a little loud. Or maybe I'm just a little too far away from the mic. I remember keep the distance. This mic I've had is very old as well. I think I've had this 9 years, I think? Almost 9 years I've had this mic, and it's done me really good. It's, what was the make of it? Yeah, it's a Rode NT USB mic. It's probably just not close enough to it. Or the music was too loud. Does it sound better now? Or is it still a bit quiet? I like making popping sound. Makes me think of that cat. No, go. Play Mystery Dungeon. No, I've never played the Mystery Dungeon series. I don't know why though. That was GBA as well, so that could be another game that could hopefully come to the Switch. Because I know they did like a remake of the original ones. I'm gonna look that up. I'm almost certain there was like a remake of them like a couple of years ago. Because isn't it basically just Pokemon but eats a guy? Because I think if I remember correctly, the premise of the 2005 they came out. Yeah, I thought so. Also, I think it was. Because there was one recent 2020 of Mystery Dungeons, which I think was a remake. Because the story is that your character gets transported to the Pokemon world, but you end up becoming a Pokemon yourself. Yeah, the last entry was 2020, so it was a while ago when they did that remake. Which I think is like a remake of the first one. Yeah, it says it says a remake of the original. Yeah, it was a remake of the original. Because I believe it was actually like on both. Like there was like two separate versions, and how they did it is like one version was on GBA and the other version was on the DS, and I think somehow they connected. A loud noise outside. Point nothing. It's another one of those unfortunate things with the main series being so popular. They realize they don't have to like squeeze out something like spin-off games. They can just keep pumping out the main series every year, and people will buy it. Like with Scarlet and Violet, because that was that I think sold like 13 million in like the first 2 weeks or something. It was just insane. I mean, granted, it's 2 games, so it makes sense they would sell a lot. Which makes you think of Resident Evil. I saw like Resident Evil 4 remake even sold 3 million copies in 2 days, which is also very impressive. Who knows where it's at now? Since 4 remake. I know it was last month. I can't remember when last month. Almost a month. It's been almost a month since 4 remake came out. Oh, yeah, I've never actually played Counter-Strike. Yeah, there's supposed to be like a sequel for that, isn't it? That's one of those games that's been going on for like years at this point, Counter-Strike. Fuck! First released in 2000. It's taken them 23 years to suddenly start to make a sequel. No, of course, the sequels. That's not right, can it? Oh yeah. They did like many games like this. Yeah, spin-offs as well. Yeah. There's always the problem with like online games. Like I played games that had online modes in them, and every time I got into them, it was just me dying repeatedly over and over and over again. And there's only so many times you can die repeatedly over and over again in online gaming that it becomes less and less fun. It's why they're really got into the battle royale games either. Or even MMOs for that matter. MMOs are always different. I've only ever played like 2 MMOs, which was original RuneScape and DC Universe Online, which was a weird one to play. No, like I said, some do have exceptions where they're not dying so frequently, because there's lots of games like Call of Duty would be the perfect example of this. Call of Duty, anytime I ever tried to play those, I would die, walk out for a few seconds, and then die again. While other games say like Overwatch, I could play at least a good 5 to 10 minutes before I'm getting killed a lot. But then again, that's because Overwatch is more team-based shooter, which means you've got to work as a team to do that stuff. So it's less likely of you getting sniped or killed repeatedly every 5 seconds. Battle Royale games, sometimes I would last a long time by hiding, but then sometimes they'll just get killed instantly. Yeah, I'm more like a single player game. There are some exceptions to that. Yeah, I've heard of Valorant. Because like Splatoon's another one of those ones where where that is online mode, but because the whole objective of those games is to ink everything up and not necessarily kill anyone, I tend to do have more fun with those. Yeah, I've played Call of Duty's online Battle Royale mode as well. It's just online games I tend to like just lose interest after a while. Thankfully, most of the ones I've got into were all free, so it's not like it was a way of a waste of money. Because I could. Yeah, it is. It is one of those things. It's always best to play as a group if you have a group to play with. Yeah, but most of the times I'm generally more of a single player type person. Because even with Splatoon 3, I always still have to be in the mood to play an online game. Even with Overwatch, because sometimes I will have that weird mood and like, why not? But very rarely to play an online game. I actually need to pee and get myself another glass of water, so I'll be back in a minute. Oh, no, one. I want to need multiple with me. There we go. Back from the toilet break, got myself another glass of water. I'm amazed how quickly I go through water today. I think it's because I'm talking more. Because usually when we play games, it's like either I'm concentrating or it'll be cutscenes, so I'll be quiet. I don't want to usually talk during video game cutscenes because I can't hear myself talk over someone also talking, and I find it kind of a little bit rude to do. All right. What music do I have on there? No, I was just talking about going through a glass of water a little quicker than usual because I'm talking more. Because usually when we play games, I'm either concentrating or there's cutscenes, so I'm not talking as much. Is the mic low? Something going with the audio? Is OBS fucking with me again? Or did I forget to unmute myself? No, I am unmuted. I've done that before. Right. Well, I've not realised I've muted myself, and unfortunately no one was in chat, so I didn't know until I looked to the side. I was like, fuck, I've been muted for an hour. I think it was during the God of War Ragnarok stream when that happened. Because when it's like a couple of minutes, that's fine, but then when it's like an hour of just silence, that's when it's worse. Frankly, I didn't think I said anything majorly important at the time. Just, I think it was when you got like, when you got one of like new weapons. It was an awesome weapon, which I think most of my excitement over would have been the same as any other streamer's excitement over again a new item or weapon in the God of War games. Oh, someone's scratching at my door. It's the other cat. Can you come in? Yes, you do. The other one wants to come in and jump on the bed. She decides she wants to sleep next to the plushies. It would seem. I don't have a picture of. Yeah, both of them like going on my bed, don't you? Actually, I think I do have like. I think because I don't tweet that much. I think I've been able to tweet out a picture of the other cat, Rusty, beforehand. I think I should be able to find it. What was it? It was a while ago, but I don't tweet that much, so it shouldn't take me too long to find because it was a funny picture of her. Because I don't think I have it on my computer. Because most of my tweets just end up being when I'm going live. I'm not really that much of an avid tweeter. That's a term. Most of the plushes I have are VTuber plushes, though. That's the ones I have at the moment. Ah, here it is. Right. I think I should put it on this screen instead of the second monitor, because that would be a lot easier. Let's go back to here. So we want it on, not this one. There we go. That's Rusty. I just thought it was funny how she sat like that on her little bed. You looking at it makes me laugh. She's like, yes? Can I help you with something? Oh, the music stopped. I guess that was all, yeah, because it was only an hour long of this. I'll go with this. Waiting. Body pillow, yeah. I don't actually have any body pillows because I can't decide. I watch too many VTubers and it's hard to just decide just one. Oops, I switched to that. Didn't mean to do that. No, that's that. But there we go. Let's go for a bit. Actually, speaking of VTuber merch, there's another VTuber I do follow because I think I can find because her name's Buff Puff and she tends to release a lot of stuff. She's been all about like releasing merch, a lot of VTubers. Most of all of them are the shoujo, but there's a lot of independent ones. But she's all about like releasing unique, interesting merch, and she released recently her own figure, which I definitely can show on stream because she did. Just get it up. Switch back to here, which is this. I'm not usually one to buy figurines like this, but I really do like her work, and for figurines like on the little bit of the lewd side, I'm not really one to buy them, but I don't know, something about this one just felt very cute and adorable rather than very lewd. Actually, I think I have them on my best way to list all the VTubers that I watch. I have them all on my follow part of my page. Because I can never been them off the top of my head. So yeah, so there's all of these shoujo, which would be cat. No, she's a wolf. Where technically she refers herself as a werewolf, hence the buff pup part of it. But yes, that would be one of them. The others would be Project Melody, Iron Mouse, Silver Veil, Nanas, Zentrea, Fruit, Snuffy, she's not part of the shoujo, and then Merryweather and Lumi. Lumi was actually the first VTuber I ever came across back in late 2020, because that's when it started to explode. Was in the early 2020, I think it was. Oh, let me. But yeah, and I kind of in the same mind like with merch, because I don't really tend to get like things like t-shirts or hoodies, not because I dislike them or anything. It's just I've got a lot of hoodies already and a lot of t-shirts. I don't really have enough t-shirts to last me over a week. So getting t-shirts of my favorite VTubers would be pointless because I'd probably never end up wearing them, or I'd rarely end up wearing them. So stuff like plushies or figurines I'm always down to get. Because I think Iron Mouse is releasing her own Android, and that's next month, the end of next month. That I'm excited for. Oh, also, my brain went dead. Yeah. Oh, if I was gonna sneeze. Oh, I hate that. One thing that's nice to know is when you watch other VTubers that they go through the same thing as you. Because I was watching Silver Veil, and she seems to have the same problem as me, is suddenly having the urge to sneeze and never sneezing. It's a nightmare. You have that tingling sensation and you just won't sneeze. I sneeze. Probably come out of nowhere. Just go. Because although I do, the only downside of following so many VTubers is not having the time to actually watch all of them. So I tend to like watch a lot of their like clips or highlight videos more often. If they're playing a game that I'm like, oh man, I really want to see them play that, I'll end up watching either watch it live if it's live when I'm awake. Because unfortunately, a lot of them are also American, and when they stream, I'm in bed, unfortunately. Or so I tend to watch the VODs there. Like Silver Veil again, she's playing through. Breath of the Wild, and I was like, you know what? Tears of Kingdom's out soon. I'd love to see her play through it and see what the game was like, since it's been a while since I played it myself. Knuckles. That's next month, isn't it? Oh, correctly, it's the 12th. Tears of the Kingdom is. Yeah, 12th of May. That's interesting. I can't do that. I can't split my attention that easily. I can only like watch one at a time. It is very difficult to like because I know there's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of people who do watch like multiple ones at once, and I can't split my mind that way. Like I can't even watch if I can't even watch anime, if I have to watch anime dubbed because I can't watch and read something at the same time, I definitely cannot watch two VTubers at the same time. That is a definite a skill. But thinking of games, I still feel funny how for me it's been reversed this year versus last year. Because last year, at the start of the year, I was barely playing any new games, and then towards the end of last year, I was playing a lot of games. And this year seems to be a lot of games at the start of this year. Because so far, every month I've played at least one new game. Because January was Dead Space remake, February was Hogwarts Legacy, and then obviously Resident Evil 4 remake last month, and then this month there's Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and then Tears of the Kingdom next month, that's the point where it stops for me, at least. There's still most of this year, at least one game, and other games still haven't been announced because in June, what's June now? I mean, there is Final Fantasy 16, but I'm kind of on that one. I'm not like a huge Final Fantasy fan. That's one of those ones I would wait and see what the reviews about on 16. Not that I think it's going to be terrible. I don't know why, but I look at it and I go, I think it's because it's another like, because Final Fantasy games for the last couple of years have been more like sci-fi fantasy, and this one's like proper like medieval fantasy. And I've already been playing a good handful of medieval fantasy already with, you know, Hogwarts Legacy, Witcher 3, and then Tears of the Kingdom. So playing a third one, it's like, I don't really want to play another medieval fantasy. Although I do love a good medieval fantasy. sometimes it's a point where it's too much. But yeah, then the rest of the year is like not really anything, because July doesn't have anything, but Hogwarts Legacy is coming to Switch in July, which is going to be interesting to see if that's actually going to run on that. Yeah, like Skyrim, like I mentioned, that has like Twitch integrations as well. But that's another one that's like best to do when there's a lot of people to mess around with that. Yeah, I mean there are some games that have been announced, but not much. But that's because like usually around June is when they announce a lot of the big companies announce a lot of their games for the rest of the year. Because Sony still hasn't said when Spider-Man 2 is coming out, which makes me think it's probably going to be November. Because it was the same with God of War last year, where we were getting further and further through the year and they still weren't announcing it, and it just turned out it was going to be out in November. It most likely be the same with Spider-Man. That's one of those ones I'm excited for too, Spider-Man 2, because the first Spider-Man game was amazing. Amazing Spider-Man. So the sequel looks to be even more amazing. They haven't actually shown any gameplay of it yet. Of Spider-Man. Had seen that. There's the Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie in June. They could announce it around then. Because I think Spider-Verse is... June. Yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, June 2nd. Which is going to be a 2-part, if I remember correctly. And then there's the Mario movie this month as well, which is going to be an interest. That's out this week, I think. No, it was out yesterday. It was out yesterday. It was out April 5th, which I will eventually go see that in the cinemas. My sister wants to go and see it with me, but she won't be free from work until like the end of this month, so I'll be ending up seeing it at the end of this month, which is fine. I'm fine waiting for this. It's not like one of the movies that I'm that excited to see. I'm more like intrigued to see what it's like than anything. That must make, now that I think that probably, now that you think about ice cream, there is one, but unfortunately it's not out every year. It's the Cadbury's cream egg ice cream. Last year I wasn't able to get it. It was every time I went into the store, it was all out of stock. But this year I was able to get it, which made me happy. There was like only 2 tubs left, so it's very popular. But other than that, ice cream is such a tricky one because I like all kind of ice cream. There's few I don't like when it comes to ice cream. It's very tasty. I'm not sure if it's a thing in America. I think it is one of those like. I think I tweeted that out as well. Yeah, that's it. It's really good ice cream. But other than that, it's really hard to say because there's so many, like, especially when you get to like something like Ben and Jerry's ice cream, it has like loads of like Oh, okay. I mean, the chocolate eggs themselves normally are good, but the ice cream just somehow hits differently. That's just really good. With all their like different like combinations. I mean, yeah. I think. Oh, damn! I switched that again. No, I meant to switch back to this. There we go. But it has like this like kind of like it looks like orange sauce, but it doesn't taste like orange sauce. It's one of those distinct tastes, which is supposed to be like the orange part of the actual cream egg itself. But yeah, I'd say when it comes to ice cream, it just depends what mood I'm in. Like the only ice cream I'd say I don't like is rum raisin, because one has rum and it has raisins. But other than that, I don't think there's a single type of ice cream I dislike. So it's the problem with having a sweet tooth is it's hard to choose just one sweet you like. I do love good chocolate chip mint as well. Like I said, it really just depends on what my mood is. I have really bad, what is it? I guess decision paralysis or something. I have trouble just picking one thing. The certain could definitely pick my favorite. But then there's other things I can't. Like my favorite color. I can't decide between blue and red, so I like both blue and red. That's why this outfit's blue and red. They're both my favorite colors. Like with Pokemon, I don't know how people can choose their one favorite out of literally 1,000 of different Pokemons. There's so many, and yet people like this one. It's like, but it's so cool and cute Pokemon. How can it's so hard to just choose one? Just the way it is. Are my eyes purple? They're meant to be kind of a brownish color, but Void, when we had the model done, didn't have a proper color for it. I mean, now they do, but the problem is because this model was made in the old Void, the beta version, you can't really change much of it in the like color and stuff in the newer version, unfortunately. Because if just remember that, yeah, they're meant to be more brown than purple. It's just old V-Void didn't have much options of colors compared to like as it is now. Like the new V-Void Studios is so better than it once was, because originally you had to have some level of art skills to make any decent models. It's why I tried to do it myself, why I can't draw for shit. It's why my sister offered to help, because she is an artist herself. But it was also very limited. But like nowadays in V-Void, you can go in and make a really good model without even having any art skills. But once again, anything that was made in the previous version can't be used in the new version, unfortunately. That's why when stuff comes out of their beta thing, goes into their first 1.1. Everything else was in the beta is pretty useless. So yeah, they're meant to actually, because I think it is like, I think I have it still on my computer now. Just hope it doesn't. I was worried about getting apps up on my computer because why am I up the stream? That's fine. What is it? Wait, hang on. It's loading. And I don't know where I got it up. Yeah, like, because it's like, this is what it looks like now, and you've got all these like different options of like eyes and everything. Like, you could literally just make a model based on all this, and then you've got different eye shapes. Like, when when we made the other one, you just had this eye shape, this eye style, and that was it. Now they have all these different ones, which I did actually manage to use some of it for. Hold on. I just realized something. So there's technically two versions of this avatar, because this one was made in the old Vroid, and then there's this one that I managed to make some adjustments in the new Vroid. Like literally, and I was to be using that one instead of this one. Which you can see the differences. All I could change was the eyes and the eyebrows slightly. When I tried to do like any of the hair or anything or eye color, it just wouldn't allow it because it was done differently. Because if I go to eyes, you can just change the color by clicking that. Yeah, then like easy change. But this wasn't like in the original version. I can't believe I do that sometimes because they're only slightly different. I don't even count this as like a 1.1. This is more like just a 2.5, I guess, because there was only like slight differences when they had the update. Because if we could get like brown, well, they already were defaulted brown. What I'm on about. But yeah, they never had any all this. I think even like with. Even now they have like those like default outfits. Like the original default outfit was it was like just these shirts and these hoodies here. But now there's just like so much. Like if someone wanted to get in VTuber now and didn't have the means to commission someone a model, there's so much that you can just make. Yeah, that's a mistake on my part. I always forget they're only so slightly different with the eyes and the ear and face bit. But that's partly why I'm at That's why I'm actually like going with actually like a commissioned person to do, which is not through using VTuber. Which is nothing wrong with using VTuber. I've seen like professional people do models in VTuber, and you wouldn't think it was in VTuber. Which just shows like sometimes it's not necessarily, what's the old saying, a shitty artist blames their tools, meaning it's never about the tools, it's how good you are at utilizing said tools. And some people can just do like amazing stuff. But like I said, the new model is going to be somewhat not hugely different from this one. It's like going to be more closer to the art work, somewhat closer. But as I said before, it is debatable how long it's going to take, because I'm not a 3D model artist, so I don't know how long it takes to do stuff. Just because they're like a quarter done for the model doesn't mean it's going to be done in any time soon. Because the stuff I could see taking longest for 3D modeling would be the tail and the ears. brain's gone completely dead again. I am slowly getting more tired. But yeah, I think the model will be more brown eyes, which is what it's originally supposed to look like. Because the idea of the model is supposed to have like kind of like a fancy kind of medieval look. Should actually, I don't think I've even. Let's see. I'm gonna how to use VC face and try and zoom out on this a bit. Come on, there we go. Because this is what this one currently looks like, which is somewhat good. But the other one will have a bit more. Oh, damn it! Yeah, come on. Damn it! There we go. You have to use the wheel. Click on the wheel to move it. It's probably just a weird coincidence. The brown eyes is just based off my own real eye color. I wasn't sure what I wanted the eye color to go. So I went with what my real eye color is, which is brown. My hair is unfortunately not blonde, and although it's not very easy to see on this model, which is once again why I'm like, I don't get why my dear sister did a very good job for her first attempt, and she understands that I do want to go with a professional person. But if you can see, there's actually like little red highlights in the hair. But they will be more noticeable in the newer model. The idea of the red highlights is actually because once we got the hair color, there's an anime called Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and I always thought it was interesting that each of the dragons had different tips of their hairs be different color. And I think the one I remember color-wise I remember liking was Toru's, because her hair was blonde with like little, well, it was more like fade. It was like red, then fade into like lighter red into a darker red. And something about that color combination really worked. But yeah, like I said, it will most likely be at the end of May. My hope is the beginning of May, because May 12th will be the 2-year anniversary. It would be nice to have the new model for them. But if not, it's not a big deal, because we can always do it afterwards. It doesn't have to be on the anniversary. Doesn't have to be on the same date. Because I've seen some VTubers where they get a new model and they want it to be in time for their anniversaries, and they never manage to, so they do both at the same time. Just notice the song. Oh, no. Right. That's a zoom. There we go. So it would be probably fine to do it then. I think which is also a Friday. So it's still on a day I stream. Yeah, 12th will be 2 years since I've been streaming. Because it's wild. Those 2 years have gone completely flying by. So it's hard to believe that at one point it was just a PMG, and now I'm gonna have a fully customized, commissioned. VTuber model. Because obviously I don't want the reading model to rush on the work. If it doesn't hit that day, it's not the end of the world. We can always do the anniversary when the model is ready. Because some things can affect it. Because like they actually had to delay the start of my commission. I didn't ask why, because I had a hunch it's probably another model was taking longer than they expected. Which is not a problem for me. I'm a patient man. I kind of think it's like 3D modeling for like video games. Like sometimes in video games when sometimes they'll have issues where their own models will just clip through the map for no reason, or clip through themselves, and like gotta delay it. Check out the Discord. I do want to add more channels later down the line in Discord. I didn't add a clip to one from the beginning because when I made the Discord, there wasn't really any active people, so there's no point in that. But everyone's a white, because like a lot of VTubers have like ones for like memes centered around them and fan art, which probably be a while before that happens. Because sometimes I do clip stuff myself. I mean, that could be a good one. Because I think some of them do also have that as well. Rainbow. Because I think I made Discord server last year. Because I was looking at videos about growing and they suggested stuff like that. But sometimes the reason sometimes I'll clip something on here as well is because I'll share it on TikTok, because that's apparently a good way of growing. But I try my best not to do too much of the grind. If you do too much of it, you run the risk of burning yourself out. So I'll put a clip on TikTok if I feel like it, or I think there's a good enough clip to put on there as well. And yes, this one was amusing because they really did make those blue guys really thick for some reason, just like. Discord, because like a lot of them have like a whole heaping of channels. Because I do follow some of the VTubers that I follow Discord servers. I realized if I followed all of them, I'd have too many distractions, and I don't need too many distractions. For myself, because Snuffy has like one separate for like stuff for like normal memes, and then stuff for like lewd adult memes, like adult joke stuff. And I always wonder if that's a good idea, like have meme posts for normal memes and then have like one for more adult oriented jokes, because there's some people out there who don't particularly like adult jokes, and some do, so that's the reason it could be a good idea to separate it. So that way people can just like stick with the channels that they what they prefer. Yeah. I think actually I follow Twitter. It's actually literally called that, wholesome memes. Sometimes I forget half the stuff I follow. Yeah. Definitely wholesome memes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, something to go through maybe on the wow, my brain on the weekend or something. Although there is someone I do follow who does a lot of comics, not usually, but still very memeable, and because they also play games and they're very funny. And I'm just looking at them a moment, and there's this one. Nighty night. Actually, did you hear what I said? I heard it, Leon. Because he keeps making so many funny jokes. Night. I think he did actually say that in the game. I just love the art style. It's so cute and really funny to me. Accent here for now. Oh wait, wait. There's one more. Mondays, am I right? I found them because someone was posting their stuff in the other Discord servers, and so I found about them. Do art? I just said I can't draw for shit, but even though I can't, damn, I gotta stop doing that. Even though I can't draw for to save my life, it still could be a fun stream to do. Like I've had that as an idea to like get MS Paint up and do really crappy drawings. That could be an idea for Saturday. I could try and draw some of my favorite VTubers. Something to consider for Saturdays, because those can go on like a long streams like those can go on a long ass time. My sister's the one who has the art skills. Yeah, I know. I've a GIMP. I know GIMP as well, but I haven't used GIMP in a while. Because I say it really depends on what happens with Resident Evil tomorrow. Because if we do end up finishing, that could be an idea to do for another stream. Once again, that's another one to consider, which is a big if the channel ever gets good enough numbers of people live all the time to do that. Because there's another one of those ones where it's good to have like a huge amount of people to do. Oh my god. Ow. Slapped myself to try and wake myself up. Don't even know if I have those. Those on Steam, aren't they? Weird enough, I wouldn't be surprised with Jackboxes on PlayStation as well. There is, yeah, it is on play on the PlayStation Store. There's another one that's like really old things as well. 2014, yeah, 2014 is when when the original one came out. And it's been like several many years. When it comes to like Jackbox. My brain went dead. Do you know, think about most of my tags. There's a reason actually there's a British tag. It's because I know I don't have a very common British accent, and it stops people from what was your very common British accent, and it saves people asking what the hell my accent is, because I know what would happen. Because when most Americans think of a British accent, they think of people from London, like the very Cockney accent, like basically like the merchant, like, yo, what you buying? But not all British people sound like that. So it saves people having to ask that question. Oh, thank you. A lot of the most like how we say water. I live like in the east part of England. I'm quite far from London itself. I thought one of them was getting up a minute ago. No, they're just licking their stuff. Look, we aware about them because they want to get out and go downstairs to do their business thing. So either poopy or pee-pee with these two, isn't there? No, she's just licking herself. A little clean up. Do you know actually one thing I'm kind of interested to try tomorrow? Because I have coffee in the morning, and I recently found about coffee bags. You know, like tea bags, but it's coffee instead. And it's like, you think about it, it's like, why is it taking so long for someone to do this as an idea? Because it just makes sense. Because if you have tea in a tea bag, why not have coffee in a coffee bag? But I needed to finish off my other coffees first, so I'll be trying those in the morning. Maybe they might wake me up a bit more. Who? Ooh, there it goes. Who knows? Oh, there I go again. It does every time I drink water, I think. I tend to drink. So it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know what to do when I start drinking water. Or drinking in general. Oh. Getting up? Something like that? Oh, oh, she's just moving. And that cat when she gets up and just changes her position. I think I know what I'm going to do now. Almost like 2 hours in, which I think is like a decent enough stream. I think I'm gonna stop now. I can actually film myself and doze off. One thing I always try to make sure to do when it comes to streaming, if I'm either close to falling asleep before going live, I won't go live. Or if I'm close to falling asleep while I'm live, I stop streaming because it's not a good idea to push myself that hard when streaming, because there's a risk of making myself sick. Because I've done that before. I push myself too hard when I'm tired, and I make myself sick in doing so. So it's best to just stop for today and maybe take a little nap and then get myself ready for work. But yeah, obviously tomorrow we might end up finishing Resident Evil 7 remake. We'll see how it goes, because obviously I have tomorrow off because it's Good Friday, which is the Easter holidays, and so we will most likely be able to, regardless of how long it ends up taking. And maybe I might get myself a name streak. But like I said, pretty sure I want to stop by. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will tomorrow for possibly the final stream of Resident Evil 4 remake.